Hi, and welcome to this series of training videos on Activ. Now, in today's video I'm going to show you how to use Magic Ink as a way of revealing certain parts of the flip chart. So, in this flip chart what we have is a diagram of the heart, and all the different components of the heart are hidden underneath the red containers which I've drawn to cover on top to cover up the labels underneath. And what we have here is a container that I've created with some magic ink embedded into it. Now if we grab this container and use it to hover over the red containers, you'll see that it reveals what's underneath the red container. So this is essentially what Magic Ink is to be used for. I think in the past in Activ Studio it didn't work properly and it was used more as a delete tool, but now it works properly in Activ and it can be used to really make your flip charts a lot more exciting and interactive. Okay, so now I will show you the steps I took to carry out this exercise. Okay, so I'll just reset this page. Okay, so to start off with, I inserted a picture of the heart. So this image was inserted from Google or the internet, wherever. And what I've done is I've just using the text field, I've put in the labels already myself. So these are all text fields. Okay, the next thing what I want to do is the same image that I inserted from the internet, I want to paste it on top of this image so it covers up all the labels. So I'll just insert that image. Now you can see it's a whole different size, so in order for it to cover the exact same parts as the image underneath, we need to resize it. So again, let's make it slightly translucent so we can see what's underneath, and we can start resizing the image. Now this can take a while and is a little bit tricky, but we should get there in the end. Oop. I think that'll be for now, you don't need, that's pretty precise. Okay, so, and before we move on, let's take the translucency off, so now we can't see any of the labels underneath. So now let's just go to the browser and I'll just show you the object browser. Now this shows the flip chart in different layers. So you've got the top layer, which is the image I've just inserted, and in the middle layer we have all the different text fields I inserted and the image right at the bottom as well. So I'll show you the relevance of these layers later on. Now what we want to do again is go back to the top image and make it slightly transparent again so we can see the labels, and I just want to cover these up with another container, so let's unpin that, and I want to choose container. We'll just make sure it's red. I just want to cover these up so you can't see them. It just makes the flip chart a little more attractive. Now, as you can see, they are slightly transparent. They're not a solid red. Now, this indicates that they've gone underneath the top layer. They're not on top of it. So I'll go back to my pointer and go back to the object browser. So these shapes, all the shapes that I've just inserted, have gone underneath the top image. Now what we want is we want for them to go on top of the image. So let's just select all these containers, and if we just control and select them all, and then just drag them to the top layer. So I've just selected all of them and I'll move them to the top layer, and the image is still on top of it. So what you now want to do is grab the image from the top layer and drag it underneath all the other shapes. Still keep it in the top layer, but underneath the shapes. And now you can see that all the containers are a solid red and they've covered up all the labels. Okay, now the next step is to actually create the icon or the object with the magic ink embedded into it. So what I will do again is draw another container. I'll change the colour now so we know it's different. Okay. Okay, so again let's move this object to the top, and we can fill this object in now with some of the invisible ink. The invisible ink is this icon in the toolbar on the right hand side. If this ink isn't already in your toolbar, what you can do is go to Tools, More Tools, and select Edit User Defined Buttons, and then from this window, if you go to the commands, you've got all your commands on the left hand side, and on this side you've got your main toolbox. And basically what you can do is go through the list and add any of the commands that you want to appear on your toolbox. So if I just want to add the action browser to my toolbox, I'll just select add and it'll appear on my toolbox there. So if your magic ink isn't on your toolbar, you can just add it from the list on the left to the right hand side. Okay, so now let's fill in our container with some invisible ink, some magic ink or invisible ink. I just want to change the width of it slightly. Okay, I'm just going to do this really quickly, it doesn't have to be too neat. You can spend a lot more time doing this. Okay, now the invisible ink hasn't been embedded into that container yet. To do that we need to group the items together. So let's just grab our pointer and just drag it up. Let's not like that. Okay, so if you just select the container and press Control on your keyboard and click on the invisible ink as well. Now you should see the options change slightly at the top, and this option here, the two green rectangles, is the grouped option. What you want to do is click on that, and this has now grouped the invisible ink and your container together. So now if we move the icon, it'll move as one object. And that's it, that's your container created. So now if we hover it over the red containers, it'll reveal what's underneath the top image and show you what's in the layers below. So just to explain that in more detail, if we go back to our object browser, the magic ink at the top will reveal what's underneath each of these objects, which is what's in the middle layer, in the layer below the top layer, if that makes sense. So thank you for watching. It's quite difficult to understand and explain, so if you do have any queries, just post any comments on the video and I'll try my best to get back to you. Thank you for watching, and bye.